What's going on, guys? Soulbreaker2 back with another video for you. Today I wanted to cover something not too many people know about, and it's going to be my dungeon build. So if you head over here, you can check the event tabs. We have ventures, we have blockbusters, as well as we have dungeons. Not too many people know much about dungeons. I talked about it already in the previous video. I'll link it as a punch card up in the top right hand corner. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go watch that. It's going to give you a quick breakdown on everything. But I wanted to cover my soldier build. So here's the build right here. Now, let me explain what this build does, because as somebody just looks at it, you may not be able to tell what it does. You may see, oh, Soulbreaker recommended this build. But if you don't use it properly, it's going to be useless. So, starting off with Diecast Jonesy, we can see when he's in the commander, he increases Gun Commando damage, which is your minigun, by 50%, and he changes the energy type, or the damage type, to energy. That's going to allow for you to do extra damage to different types of husks, as well as it's going to allow you to do extra damage to mini-bosses. So mini-bosses are going to take extra damage from this, which is why we put him in the main support. We're getting a bonus 50% damage and energy type. Next, you have your team perk. Most people will run Blast from the Past or something to stay alive better. I personally would rather run Happy Holidays, and here's why. Happy Holidays is going to allow your ability cooldowns to finish 40% faster. So instead of a typical 3-minute minigun build, it may now be closer to a minute 60. That's going to, or not a minute 60, like a minute 40. That's going to be a lot better for you when you're doing your dungeon runs, because your abilities are going to be ready faster. If you're stuck waiting for your ability cooldown to come down, you're just going to get killed by everything. The weapons you can find in dungeons are horrible. I'll just say that right now. They are horrible. If you rely on those weapons, you're not going to beat it, or you'll at least struggle to beat it. Our goal is to be able to complete it solo, or at least super quick, so that way we can run as many as possible. Next, the first commander we have in our support team is Going Again. Commando Spitfire has the Going Again, which if you put him in your main, he has 66% difference. But we don't really need that, because dungeons are spaced out. You're not going to be getting your minigun up immediately when you're running dungeons, because the monoliths are spaced apart. For this build, the 30% is more than enough. So we're going to leave him in our support team and allow for that bonus 30% taken off of that minigun cooldown. So now it's going to be even shorter of a time. Next, we have First Cup of the Day. So First Cup of the Day, if we look right here, is Ted. They're going to increase Going Commando crit rating by 10 and the crit damage by 100%. So because we're running him, we don't need something like Totally Rockin' Out, which is going to increase the crit rating, because he is already doing it. It's not by a ton, but it's plenty for you to be able to hit a mini-boss and destroy the mini-boss. Next, we have Snow and Commando, which is going to let you shoot snowballs. This isn't going to really do anything against the mini-bosses or against the monoliths, but this will allow you to kill the husks easier. It's going to essentially be like a miniature grenade, so as we can see, it fires one every 20 shots. Our minigun is going to be spinning super fast, so it's about every 5 seconds, I believe, it's firing one. And it's going to be able to help you crowd clear so much faster. Not only will the minigun ruin them, but the snowball will just crowd clear everything. Then we have Sergeant Jonesy for more Going Commando perks. He's going to increase the duration by 5 seconds. Now this isn't a ton, but it also is going to help us out as much as we need. Now, instead of our cooldown being about 40 seconds, we can knock it down to, I think it's 30 or 35. Somewhere around there, which is still insanely good time, because by the time you get to the next monolith you need to destroy, your minigun is already going to be ready. And last, we have Swamp Knight. You may not have Swamp Knight, but the easiest way to get him is from doing dungeons, so if you don't have him yet, it's not a big deal. Just run the crypts, and you'll be able to get him pretty fast. I believe you have to complete 2 quests in crypts, which isn't horrible, because that just by doing dungeons, you're going to complete the challenges, which is going to help you get him. What he does is he increases damage to miss monsters by up to 42% based on your missing health. So that's not above and beyond insane, but keep in mind, we already have a bonus 50% damage from Sergeant Jonesy. We have a bonus 10 crit damage, crit rating, and a bonus 100% crit damage. We're running energy, so we're also doing higher damage to mini-bosses. And on top of that, we also have Swamp Knight, who is going to allow for you to do bonus damage to the mist monsters. So if you're getting hit by husks or a mini-boss, and you pull out your minigun and start to fire at them, you're going to be doing extra damage. All of this is based on how much health you are missing. If you're full health, this isn't really going to do anything for you, but because we're not running Blast from the Past, we can have our shield be taken off and then regenerate our shield after we're at, let's say, 200,000 health. Then we can simply sit here, fire at the mini-boss, and deal extra damage. Because of Unearthly Treat and Swamp Knight, we are going to be using Adrenaline Rush. For if we get super low, we can use our Adrenaline Rush and be okay. As well as you have a chance to get heal pads and campfires. Those are also going to be really good when fighting the mini-boss at the end, because you have one respawn. If you get low, you can walk on top of it, collect the heal pad, or just place down the campfire to heal you as you're dealing damage. You have to be careful how much you heal though, because you don't want to get rid of the bonus 42%, because that's going to be a heavy hitter against the mini-bosses. And our last gadget, we're going to be running Slow Field. Slow Field is going to help slow down the mini-bosses, which makes it easier for us to hit. It won't really do anything prior to the mini-boss zone, but as soon as you're in there fighting the mini-boss, if you place this down on top of the Take or the Smash or one of the blasters, whatever you're facing, it's going to do so much because you're going to have him stuck in place while you're just absolutely tanking him, hitting crits, hitting headshots with your minigun. So now that we know what this build is about, let's go ahead and hop into a dungeons run so I can show you how to use this properly. Real quick, keep in mind this bit that says gold coins found in the dungeons can be spent in the llama shop. We'll talk about it while we do the dungeon run, but that's going to be extremely useful information. Alright, when I first queue in, I typically like to gather some materials. I am doing this in a lower level zone just so I can guarantee the win for you guys and show you how to do this. Because in the higher level zones, I do have to try and give it my all to make sure I can win. So, the Husk key, as you heard them, the Shadow key, you have to find it throughout the map. You'll be able to see it directly on your map. And the Husk key, as soon as you destroy 3 monoliths, you're going to get it. This applies for all levels of it, and you have 4 total levels. 1 is this above level where you have infinite respawns, and then the 3 are going to be the upper, middle, and lower levels of the dungeon. When you come in, you can destroy the urns for bonus weapons, just like this, and it'll also give you traps and materials. In this first area, I like to use my minigun to just take out 2 easy monoliths, just like this. I'd use the last of it to destroy everything, and open this up. That way I can come in here, search the chest for extra gold and extra weapons. Then you can hit this teleporter, and that's going to move you into the next zone way faster. Unfortunately, you can't dodge this trap. It's still going to activate through the builds. But you can come over here, pick up the key, and then rotate this way to make sure you're ready for that. It's not going to be immediately ready, but it's going to take a quick second. Due to the new mantling, you can place a floor, hop on top, and just sit here and wait. And then as soon as it's ready, you can use your minigun and go fire away. In the higher level zones, it typically will take longer to destroy the monoliths because they're going to have more health, but you still can destroy them no problem. If you place a floor over traps like this, it stops working. However, if you edit out a single corner or piece of the trap and then stand on top of it, it's going to fail. These totems right here are going to remove all of your shield. So you can either sit there and try and break it with your melee, or you can use your minigun, take this out, turn, take out this monolith, and then while you're at it, if you want, you can destroy this mini-boss. However, he has no effect over your dungeon run. The only thing he's going to do is drop extra gold for you. So if you're in a higher level zone, I typically decide to leave him alone and not even mess with him, because now you have to move into this next area wait for your minigun to be ready, and destroy the other monoliths. Versus if you would hit the teleporter and come straight to this zone, you would be able to take out 1, 2, 3 monoliths in one go and make your life so much easier. However, if you don't kill the mini-boss in that first zone, he is going to teleport into this massive room and try and annoy you. So keep that in mind. There's 2 different ways to do this, but both ways are going to be a little bit difficult. After we destroy that, we can come down, pick up the key, and then we can look on our map to figure out where the other key is. If you get stuck in one of these, just hit him with your pickaxe, and then he already dies. The good thing about when he gets stuck in that trap is he's going to give you bonus gold. So if you ever want more gold, you can always just stop by, kill him if you have no husks nearby. Otherwise, I try and ignore the traps because it just kind of wastes time. You will also see these yellow things throughout. It's going to say find the switch. If you run around, you can just swing your pickaxe and whatever doesn't break, and you can look at it, you'll see open secret door and yellow stars around it. After interacting with it, you'll see a little like spark go into the wall where the yellow bit was, and it's going to open up an area to go open up a chest. I recommend collecting as many coins as you can because these gold coins are actual gold you can use in the llama shop, so I highly recommend picking them up. We can see we have the key below us. This is one of the worst spots you can get it in because you're sitting right above the void. It is very easy for you to get killed while you're right here. Typically, I build across 3 or 4 tiles to where I can see both of these monoliths and destroy them. Unfortunately, it's not guaranteed that you're going to find these monoliths. Sometimes it's going to not spawn, and then you're going to have to deal with not having any of them there. If they don't spawn there, you can look, there's a spawn that can happen over there. As well as if we keep moving forwards, there's a spawn that happens all the way down here. Right there. This one does have the totem above it, so I don't typically try and fight this one, just because it takes off all your shield and makes it extremely annoying. Once you get here though, if your minigun is ready, simply activate your minigun and you can tear through this middle wall here and take out the monolith, as well as remove this wall to not get hit by the traps on the left and right. Otherwise, just pull out your minigun after you get through that, take this out, and then you can kill off the remaining husks so that way they don't mess with you while you're trying to open the dungeon door. Now that they're dead, we just pick up the key and keep moving. If you're worried about husks getting to you, you can just place a build on the outside and then they won't be able to get to you. Be careful when you get through here because this is the final area and this is where you have to kill the boss. If you're not ready, your minigun's not ready, whatever, try and delay it. You can box up on the roof, do anything to make sure you can go into this last zone ready. Unfortunately, you have a time limit to kill him. If you don't kill him in the time limit, he's going to disappear and make it harder. As you can see, he just left after we activated our minigun, which is kind of annoying. But we can turn around and just laser him with our minigun. I like to build a little bit here, just so I can sit here and know this is my safe spot. If I get extremely low, instead of failing my mission and having to do the entire thing again, while I have this 40 seconds that we see on the left-hand side, I can sit here, harvest a little bit more materials, and then I can also have a safe area to place down my heal pads or campfires if I have any, as well as just sit here to make sure nothing kills me. That way when the mini-boss spawns back in, I know I'm ready to go, and I know he's not going to kill me immediately. If you edit archways, it's the same thing as the MSK. The husks won't destroy them, so you should be fine. If they do try to destroy them, then oh well, there's not much you can do. You just have to place down some reinforcement, and they shouldn't be able to break through it in that time. Then we can see he's about to spawn. 3, 2, 1, and we can look on the map to see where he spawns in. So he spawned over here. I'm going to come down, try and bait him this way, throw down my slowing field, and then to make sure I'm not getting hit by everything, I'll throw down my war cry, activate my minigun, and then just fire away. Then you can come through, pick up all of your gold to make sure you get as much as possible, and then you're good to go. If you were to die, you have a respawn from the statue right here, but you only get one. So if you fail and die twice, then it's over. You have to make sure you don't use that statue until you absolutely need it, which is why you have the adrenaline rush, and it's why we also have the slowing field. That way we can keep them away from us as well as heal if we get super low. After completing your dungeon, it's the same as every other mission. You're going to get your rewards. You can go ahead and open them, and you're going to get tons of XP. So this is another way to get good Battle Royale XP. You're going to be able to get all of this stuff. Lunar tickets are by far amazing. It's what's going to help you get the llamas for this typical season. You can get more gold, a little bit of perk up, and even more XP. Then it says we completed a quest, so we can check this out. We completed one that gives us more lunar tickets. And we also completed our second quest in the dungeons, which gives us Swamp Knight. Swamp Knight is going to help us out so much because if you don't have him in the build, you can now use him. Or if you only had one, now you can put one of them in the collection book. So that's pretty much everything for this dungeon build. If you guys want to build using Carbide, who uses the pistols, let me know and I'll make my build and do another video showing how to use him. But I typically only use Carbide in the grotto. That's pretty much it for this video. If this helped you out, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.